All right, let's face it. In high school, we all had that one English teacher. Well, that English teacher is me. I'm Brian Kulak, a career educator and author of The Hot Seat. Every week, I reconnect with former students, colleagues, and fascinating people to explore who they were, who they are now, and the wisdom they've gained along the way. Welcome to The Hot Seat. So, the first two non-students who are going to appear with us tonight need no introduction, but I feel like anybody who says they don't need an introduction needs a grander one. So I'm going to go in order. So Lisa was who were in her class in 1987 in fifth grade at Haviland Avenue. Would probably stay the same. She was Miss Painter back then. But what she did for me, as I'm sure for so many of you, is she instilled a love of writing in me at a time when I knew I loved to write and I wanted to write a lot. So she just kept the assignments coming. You know, at that time there was no honors or whatever in fifth grade, but I was over at Haviland in that Apple program that had just started, and I couldn't write enough. So Lisa taught me how to write. She taught me how to love writing, how to be critical in the proper way. And this is all in the frame of a 10-year-old, right? So I didn't know what I couldn't do. I just knew I loved to write. So when I left Haviland, it just seemed natural that we would continue our relationship and our friendship, and we have for a lot of years now. She's just about, we're getting a glimpse of somebody's. Hey, Beth. Beth, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, good. Okay, cool. I'm still in.
I just had to switch from my computer to my phone, so
I gotta hope that Lisa can get into it, but I'll give another.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the. I'm trying to set my phone up, so.
So that's a good segue. So here is Beth Canzanese. So on the other end of my fifth grade experience with Lisa was Beth. I didn't have Beth until I was a senior. And at that time, it was called a class called International Relations, an elective course taught first period, I think just to seniors. And it was as collegiate an experience as you could have. We could come and go as we pleased. We had breakfast a lot. And we just kind of talked about everything that was going on in our lives in the world. And the other thing that was really important, too, is, as I said, Lisa taught me how to write, but Beth taught me how to think. I don't know that I've ever really thought the way that I did in that class, thought about things that were much bigger than me and much bigger than Audubon, thought in very much a think tank kind of class because it was so small. And then at some point we put together a time capsule. I think it's sent it to Russia, which nowadays seems ironic. But that experience, just solidified what I already knew, which is I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to be a teacher like Beth. So that's kind of how our relationship started. And then, just like Lisa, we've been friends for a really long time. And Beth's done a lot of things in education since retiring. Most of it consultation work, working with districts who need help with curriculum and PD and all kinds of things. So Beth, I'm gonna throw it over to you while I try to help Lisa get in. We start each episode pretty much the same way. Who are you and who were you? And there's a lot of people who can't wait to hear from you.
Who am I?
It's a deep question. It's a Canzanese kind of question.
Yeah, I have no idea. Wait a minute. Am I there somewhere?
Yeah, we can't see you, but we can hear you.
Wonder why.
I don't know why either.
Oh, the camera. Oh, it's a dumbass. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, that's who I am.
There's Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Howdy.
All right, so we have the two heavy hitters in the same room. Beth, you were going to start, and Lisa, then we're going to throw it to you for who you are and who you were. Go ahead, Beth.
I've always been me.
Okay. So tell us about your teaching career then. So did you start at Audubon?
No, I started in Camden, actually.
Man, okay.
And then went from there to Somerdale, and then Audubon stole me away in the middle of the year.
And how long were you in Audubon?
30, I don't know. I started in April of 1977 and left in 2015, whatever that would be.
Okay. And ELA in history?
I was basic skills teacher, hired for basic skills for about 10 years, and they weren't sure whether I could manage a class. I had to beg for many years.
I'm still not sure if you can manage a class, because I think your classes were pretty much open world, which is why we love you.
Yeah, they may have been right. Yeah.
All right, and who are you now? What's going on with you now?
I just ended my a couple of year relationship with Stratford as a
Right,
curriculum consultant.
right.
So I'm just relaxing, writing, uh, and presently causing good trouble.
Presently causing good trouble? Like, is that a new? It's not a new thing.
No, well, it's new right now. It's not a new thing, but causing good, let's say, political trouble.
So, speaking of good trouble, many of you don't know, but at one point, Beth decided, kids are going to just paint her wall. Which, as a principal now, like I know you can't just do that. Like it takes a lot of steps for me to put a mural up. But Beth's like, hey guys, bring some paint in. We're gonna paint this wall in the top of a building, any way you want. And then it just happened, and no one batted an eye. Now I know it's Audubon and things were a little bit loosey goosey, and she was an OG, so she could do pretty much whatever she wanted, and she did. But that's the kind of thing that she's talking about. There you go, Kaylee. Kaylee says it was her class. Steve, same thing. But good trouble was always what you caused, and I think that's what led so many of us to have such great experiences in your class, because there really were no traditional rules. We just had to be ourselves, and do things like Plato's Cave, and which is still one of my favorite things I've ever seen. And I try to do it myself. I love Plato's Cave. And then, of course, just sharing who you are and who you always have been with your kids. That was largely where my inspiration came. I give John a lot of credit, and do, but like I think the vulnerability piece came from you, kind of saying what was on my mind and saying what I thought kids needed to hear to be comfortable, even if it was uncomfortable, and it often was. And that's kind of where the hot seat, I think, was born, even though it was, as I said in the book, kind of born out of desperation. So that I owe you a tremendous debt of gratitude for, Beth. So thank you for that.
Well, it was a natural progression for you to do the hot seat. You were ready.
Well, I don't know if I was ready. I was terrified. I was
Well,
fully terrified at 23, and I just saw my brother over the weekend for my mom's birthday. We were talking about how he was in my class. My first year, he was on my roster. Now, we're both living on Payson Ave with my parents, so I had to go into Sue McKenna and be like, look, you can have him or you can have me. He can't be my class. I mean, he'll have access to everything. If you got, my brother was tough back then. He's living his best life right now, which is amazing, but that's Audubon for you. Lisa, the preamble you probably didn't hear. It's worse than, or did you hear?
I did, yeah.
You heard about this the first crush, and that you're a Miss Painter, and that I would probably do anything you wanted me to do. Yeah, exactly right. So, so was that your first year, Lisa, in 1987? Ish?
No, 1985 was
Okay.
my first year. Yeah.
Or was it at Haviland?
At Haviland.
Was it? Okay. And was it always fifth grade? Because that's when I
No.
had you. Okay.
5 and 6. 5 and 6. Yeah.
Oh, right. Because that's right. There was K6, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so tell us a little about your teacher journey, and we know most of us now know it's coming to an end, or it will be in a few more days. Yet you were celebrated the other night. Tell us about that.
Well, I started in preschool. I taught preschool for a couple years, and then in 1985 I got hired. Gene Kiek
Oh yeah.
was superintendent, and
Yep, I remember.
I walked in, and there were 2 jobs open. There was a 6th grade and there was a 1st grade.
Okay.
And walking right out, 21 years old, scared to death. I wanted the 1st grade. I was like, please give me the 1st grade. And they got all finished. They actually hired Sue Selby and I on the same day. I don't know if you remember Sue.
I do.
But they looked at me and they said, we think you'd be great. We think you'd be really great for 6th grade. And I said, okay. And I went home and cried. I just cried and cried. And I thought I'll never be able to do this, and it ended up being the best experience ever. Yeah, the best.
How long were you in that role before you moved over to Maston in your current role?
I was trying to think of that the other day. So I guess I would say it was about 16 years.
Okay.
Or more. No, more. It had to be over 20 years because I've only been at Mancham I've been in the district for 40 years.
Okay.
This year.
Okay.
So
So
mansion I was at for, I don't know. Beth and I can't do math. Don't you know
yeah,
that?
that's
I know.
true. This is an it's a strictly ELA
Yeah, stop
conversation.
Don't
answering these
this
You're right.
about us.
these
Don't,
number questions. What's going
yeah,
on?
don't ask us number questions,
There will be
okay?
We
payback, Brian.
we
It
didn't
will
talk
be
about this.
many years. How
We
about
didn't
that?
talk about this in
Many.
the pre-show prep. We should have talked about no numbers in the pre-show prep. So at least how did the speaking natural progressions like Beth talked about? How did the natural progression go from classroom to reading specialist, which is how you're going to wrap up your career?
Um, well, literacy was always my first love.
Right.
And I just always found myself drawn to that. I love teaching reading and writing. Loved reading and writing myself. And when I was deciding, I knew I wanted to go back to school and talk to people like Beth and like Don and like
Right.
Carlene and all my mentors and friends. And I just felt like that was where I wanted to be. That was what I wanted to do. It was, whispering in my ear
Yeah.
that this
Yeah.
is, and I haven't regretted it at all.
So have either of you ever thought about had either of you ever thought about leadership positions? Because I mean, you have it
Mhm.
written all over you. Have you ever thought about in your
We
career
both were.
things?
We both have been in leadership
We
positions.
were. That's
You were
right, Brian. We were leaders.
you were supervisors or principals?
No, well,
No.
That's what I mean.
informally leadership? No, no.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah, I mean, I know you were leaders, obviously, in
I
all
know.
our
I wanted
lives.
nothing
Yeah,
to do with that world. Nothing.
yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
I was the same way. I know, I think I would have been a really good principal.
I
I
totally agree.
really
That's why
do.
I asked. Yeah, yeah,
But I think I would have paid a lot of a price in my personal life for that.
yeah, yeah.
Being a mom of three and married, and I have so much respect for what principals do and the time that they put in and all of that. And I also know that there's a paperwork piece of it that would not be
Dreadful.
something that would make my heart sing.
Yeah,
And
dreadful.
I really wanted to stay connected to kids,
Yep.
and not that you're not. I
No,
know
no.
you pride yourself on that, but
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
wanted to be more hands-on to kids every single day.
I mean, that was a huge transition for me, right? So all I knew was kids, and then my first role in Collinswood was chief academic officer, which was no kids.
Right.
But because, and you know him so personally, because Scott was so brilliant, Scott Oswald, our former superintendent, he just kind of let me write my own choose your own adventure of that position. And I was like, well, if that's the case, I'm going to get in a lot of classrooms and I'm going to get really close with teachers and support, especially new and novice teachers. And I want to know kids. And I did. I know more kids and knew more kids than I think he thought, which then when this transition happened, I'd never done anything this young. I skipped middle school altogether. It just made it easier because I got back into my roots of connecting with kids in a way that I thought they needed to be connected with. And every day, I mean, today was a particularly emotional and challenging day for two of our kids that really are struggling with some stuff that is way heavier than what we'll get into here. But that's the everyday, right? So somebody asked me at the signing if I missed teaching, and I said every day. I mean, every day.
Yeah.
Especially with things like the hot seat and the battle of the sexes and the road and perks of being a wallflower and all the things that we did that I know the kids loved. I miss terribly. So I applied to Rowan's writing department to get my fix. So hopefully I'll get back in the classroom pretty soon. So I'm going to have one more question for you guys before we transition into the actual hot seat. So you two are, my heroes, instrumental in my life, and now such dear friends of mine. Who are you? Who are your people? Who do you look up to in that same way that if the roles were reversed, you'd be, she's on the other side for me. Yeah, talk about that. I want to hear about, kids know how I feel about you two and John, Herb Holroyd, Greg, Casey, I mean, the whole crew that made me who I am, but who were yours?
I'd say some of my colleagues in my teaching career,
Yeah.
some superintendents, particularly some of my teachers who heard me and saw me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was not a happy child. And I'd say Martha Graham.
Tell us who Martha Graham is?
The dance technique that I grew up.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. All right, Lise.
I think similar. definitely some of the educational leaders that I've worked with alongside, like Don, like Carlene, like those people. Beth is my person. I love her. She's such a good friend to me, and I loved watching her, just the way she approached things, with education and with kids, and just she made me, brave. She made me do those things, like I got in a little trouble, like bringing my dog to school when the kids were writing. I don't think Carlene's ever forgiven me for that.
What a crime! How dare you?
Compare and contrast, and Rich Wilson brought in his stone dog that sat on his fireplace, and I brought in my 100-pound Labrador Retriever.
A
We
little bit, a little bit different.
did a compare and contrast. It
Yeah,
was great.
that's
Compare
good.
and contrast Carlene when she was calm, and then when she
Yeah,
was
it was one of those plays where our eyeballs bulged,
Yeah,
little eyeball bulging, but definitely, and I think my own children are really an
yeah,
inspiration to me,
same.
because
Yeah,
they inspire me. They continue to inspire me with the things that they do, and the people that they are.
yeah. I mean, you said a couple things I want to talk about quickly. You used the word with, and I say that all the time, right? There's a huge prepositional change if you say you work for somebody and work with somebody. So I kind of want my staff to know that they're never working for me. That's absurd. And the other thing is, you brought up Don. I had a chance to kind of connect with him over the weekend about the chapter that he's in. He just thanked me he said, thank you for painting me in a positive light. And, I think people like him with such a big personality and who've meant so much to so many people, just like you two. I don't know why he wasn't expecting it to be a positive light, but I'll never forget that day when he walked in right in the middle. And, someone else said, I think at the party, Audubon was this odd place where you could do a lot of those things and no one really batted an eye. Like I don't know if it would work in some. Well, I know it wouldn't work in some settings with some more like bureaucratic leadership, and leadership doesn't trust teachers or whatever. But I mean, the three of us did some things that we probably shouldn't have done, or had conversations we probably shouldn't have had with older kids. But now those same ones are here at the bottom on the chat talking about both of you in this way, and remembering you both so fondly. So, the good trouble thing, I think, is we could start a podcast, the three of us, called Good Trouble, and just talk about our careers. As mine winds down, I'm trying to catch up to you guys. And lastly, Lisa, I was going to tell this story. So I have to tell the Bugaboo story real quick because it was almost going to be in the book. So Lisa was just an amazing writing teacher. Now, again, I'm 10 years old. And this idea was great. So she had little note cards, and on the back was a word she knew we didn't know. So think Boulder Dash, that game Boulder Dash, which is like a fun party game. And the instruction was very simple. It was turn it over and write about this word. Now, I will promise you, especially my former students, that I must not have heard that instruction. There's no way what you're about to hear I would do on purpose. So she finishes handing out the card. She meanders around, and I flip over my word, which is bugaboo. And the room is silent because that's what she asked for. And I raise my hand, and I'm like, what's bugaboo? And she walks over, and the redness of your face, I think because it was me, and like I wasn't a jerk, and I wasn't trying to make your life hard. I just misunderstood. Brian, and you took the card from me, and that was pretty much it for that writing assignment. I just had to sit there, and I deserved every bit of that exile.
That's terrible.
No, it's not terrible because I was a punk and I wasn't listening, and it was an easy, fun assignment that I ruined because I could have just asked the person next to me. But that was in the book for a while and I ended up cutting it. But that's my Lisa story. And the same thing, Beth, with you with the time capsule. Like, I just remember coming in first period, and like you said, I was talking to Nick Delgazzo, I coached baseball with him. He's like, I love that class because she didn't really care if we came. I'm like, that's true. I went because I loved it, and we did that time capsule and I think I put in like a Poison, the band Poison, like liner notes or something to send to Russia. So those were the kind of experiential things that you guys provided us that was so much better than rote learning, which is what I refuse to do in the classroom. So I think on behalf of so many people who are on the call tonight, thank you so much for doing that for us and making us think and do things outside the box. Okay, you ready for your hot seat?
Yep.
All right, so we decided, guys, offline that we're gonna do this I'm not going to say what you said last night when you were describing it, Beth, but they'll probably pick it up. There are three of us doing this at the same time. We're going to leave
Oh,
it
you
at
mean
that.
three-way?
No, oh God. So you picked the question, and then all three of us will bat it around.
Yeah, I didn't get the book yet because I got it from Barnes and Noble. It takes a little bit longer.
I love that people are kind of boycotting Bezos and
Yeah,
going Barnes and
yeah,
Noble. I
yeah.
love that. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Right. Anyway, okay. 86.
Okay.
Beth, that's not the number we agreed on.
What do you most cherish?
What do I most cherish?
Cherish. What do we most cherish? Because this is a trio. That's what I'm going to call it. A trio answer.
Okay. What do we most cherish? Intellectual and spiritual evolution.
Okay. Intellectual and spiritual evolution. Without each, you would not be who you are, not
Absolutely.
be complete, not be happy, not be content.
I don't know about happiness and contentment. I think sometimes spiritual evolution can make you very unhappy. But
Okay.
yes, that wouldn't be me.
Okay. When do you think that started for you, that journey?
When I was 17.
Okay, so 17 has just evolved since. There were no gaps during which there was a pause or a loss of faith or spirituality. It just continued to evolve over time.
No,
Okay.
it's never a pause.
Never a pause. Okay.
Once it starts, it's like you can't unring the bell. You can't.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Lise.
Ooh, what do I most cherish? I mean, there's so many obvious things that pop in my head. My family and friends, of course, but like, I think just growth, the ability to always just be learning and growing, and that's something that I've tried to do all the way till this year.
Yeah.
And to not ever stop and just learn and read and think about new things and challenge myself in new ways. I cherish that, and I'm looking forward to seeing like what's next in that category right now. Just the fact that I'm staring down one more week of this thing called school, it's just
Yeah.
a little bittersweet.
Yeah.
Beth has been counseling me, so
Yeah.
she's been my therapist, and
Start packing now. I said that 6 months ago.
I have been every day. I bring a bag home every day.
Oh, yeah, that's a big, I mean, that's a big deal. I think, I think when I think of the word cherish, I think about that which we cannot do without. So just hearing you, yeah, I think the misassociation with cherish is like it's a token, it's something that it's tangible, it's a picture. But I think I'm unsurprisingly to you two and to anybody who's listening, I'm very much of the same mind. I think the easy answer would be my children, right? So now you're talking about staring down the end of your career, at least, but I got 15 and 12 right now. So like there's a lot of different things that are happening that I have to get better at and kind of support, right? I mean, I'm just so proud of them both all the time. But that I think is an easy answer, and I think that's what people expect us all to say. But I'm going to kind of, I know this is kind of generic too and cheesy, but when people ask me about my career, I always use the word fortunate. I've never strayed from it, and I think part of it is the strange confluence of events, right? Like if you guys both know, right? Mike Narducci died. Unfortunately, John got pressed into action and guidance, which opened up his position, which coincided with me student teaching, which coincided with Casey needing a basketball coach. All that stuff happened, and here I am in the classroom that I came to love so much. All those relationships and the hot seat and you two are part of that. And then I have this separate life. I have this whole separate Collingswood life, right? That I'm only 11 years into, but it's a completely separate experience. And I can't stress enough how much I love my staff and my community. Again, I'm just fortunate. The people that I inherited from my last principal, who's retired and a wonderful friend of mine and a way better leader than I'll ever be, she put together this all-star team. I just kind of walked in. I was like, I'll be here if you need me. I don't really think you do. And then I got to kind of build it myself over the last several years and coach young teachers and see all these young new parents coming over from Philly and who just have no idea what they're doing. And they ended up at Tatum and they, I think, feel better for it. so at the end of my career, like I think many of us, you two, I think I just saw Herb last week and we had a long conversation. I love Herb, and he talked about his career. It's the things I cherish are the people on that really expansive tree. It just keeps growing. So I don't know what I would do without education. I know I joked, and you guys probably heard. I'm not kidding. I can't do anything else. I can't. There's no, there's nothing else. I mean, I slung beers for a while. I guess I can do that, but I can't do
Could
anything
write.
meaningful.
Could
I
write.
can't do anything
Right.
meaningful. I could
Could
write.
write.
Okay, that's fine. I could write, but this is what I was supposed to do my whole life, and I think you two again getting me at 10 and then 17, formative, and then making it a conscious effort to stay connected with me all this time. I cherish. I don't know what I would do without the teachers in my life that made me want to teach and want to teach others. It's been a wonderful journey for all of us, and I'm glad we got to do it together. At least I can't wait to celebrate you on Monday. It's gonna be an emotional night. I'll stay in the background because I could dominate with how much I want to congratulate you, but you both deserve whatever's next. And I think you said really well. I'm envious of what the idea of what's next isn't real for me. I mean, I know what's next, right? I know what September 1st brings. I know what the next several September 1st will bring. But you guys have this new this universe with each other, with your families that are growing, grandchildren. That just must be so exciting. So,
Brian, don't you think that you are a teacher, even as a principal?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Great question. And here's how I'm going to answer it. I think I teach our students how to be human, empathetic, kind, compassionate humans, because I cannot do what our teachers do. They're so talented and they work so. I know there's probably high school people listening, but let me tell you something. Elementary people run circles around
I
what we do.
agree.
I can't even imagine doing it. I have to cover classes all the time, and it's amazing. But yeah,
But
I
you'll
do.
always be a teacher. You're never going to stop teaching.
No,
It's just
I agree.
always people like Lisa who are about to retire and kind of reticent about like what's I'm losing this kind of feeling.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be an opportunity to teach somehow, some way.
I hope so. I mean, I have a lot left to give. I'm not,
It just is. It just
Yeah.
is. It's just who you are. It's
I
sort of like the Cormac McCarthy's. You have to carry the light.
Yeah. Yeah. So Abby's reading Abby just read The Road. My daughter just read The Road. I was over the moon that she was reading. I wanted to geek out with her big time, but I think that's a geek too far for her. But it's one of my favorite books and one that we read together, Beth. And remember we had that symposium in the library. We had pizza and all kinds
The
of
mama
cool
drama. Remember the
Yep.
mama drama?
I do remember. Yep.
Shopping
Yeah,
cart.
we could go on and on about this. I'm feeling a little emotional now talking to you guys just about this. Like again, because you're at the end, I'm getting closer, and I don't know what's next for me. But
That's my point. It's not the end. It's
yeah,
not
no,
the
you're
end.
right. You're right. Yeah,
Just
She-
like
she-
just like
she
just like
has
being a
really-
principal, just like being a principal didn't
Yeah.
change the fact that you were a teacher,
right.
and it seems like it would be so different. Or going to Collingswood,
Yeah,
Mhm.
when you leave the educational world as it is or as it becomes in the next couple of years, you'll still be who you are.
yeah,
You won't lose anything.
yeah.
It expands, it evolves. Getting
This
back
is
to
what I
the
need. This is the therapy I need, and without paying a copay. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why you said therapy, Lisa. And I was like, yep, that sounds.
No, she has completely because I do cherish this career. I loved every minute of it. Like I was
Totally.
talking to somebody about it the other day, and I truly like never, and my family would tell you the same thing. My husband, he's always said, I'm so envious of you because you get up every day and you just go to a place that you love to be with people that by and large have become friends and family to you, and you love what you do. And I do.
Yep.
And that's what made it so hard to think about leaving, but also realizing that, as Beth said, and she has counseled me, it's not over, it doesn't have to be over. Like it's just going to look it's going to be different, and maybe a door is going to open that you don't even know is there right now. Something's going to find me, that's going to draw me in.
Yeah, and I mean, Meg, thanks for saying that. Megan Cologne just jumped on, and she said she had 11, 14, and 17. She's one of my favorite students of all
Yeah.
time. She's in the book. Love Megan so much. But I think that's the connection piece, at least, is what I will always come back to. So when I got to Tatum, I wanted them to know that I feel like everything is connected. So I'm big vibe, big energy person. So that's our motto now. It's on our walls, on our t-shirts, or whatever. And that's what education does for us. Like it lets us connect with so many people for so long. Like these people who came to the party, some of them are into their 40s, right? They're with their own kid. It was just such a spectrum of people, but all connected by Audubon, and connected by people like you and whoever their favorite
by
teachers were at
you.
the time.
That night they were connected by you.
Well, I'm not great at that part, but thank you. I'm still trying to get used to that kind of compliment, because I just see myself as part of it. I got lucky.
It's not a compliment. It just is. It is.
This is like talking to Yoda. It's like female Yoda with a
Yoda with a newsboy cap.
I was trying to think of the name of the cap. I was going to say, what is it? A bowl? Would it be a bowler? No.
That's a newsboy. Newsboy.
That's the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Meg. I'm glad you jumped on. All right. So, any last parting words before we leave? I don't want to stop talking to you guys, but I know this won't be the last time the three of us talk. Anything to your former students? Anything just kind of like into the ether?
Well, Lisa and I are going to take you to dinner sometime after mid-July. So it's not over. Nothing's over.
It's not. No.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Be very, very afraid of it, though, Brian. I mean, you might want to bring a Bible.
I might have to. I'll sit at a table. I'll talk to you, but I'll be at a different table because I'm just kind of nervous about what the conversation might be like.
Well, that might be worse. Everyone will hear it then.
That's true. That's true.
The one thing, Bri, that you had in the book that really just resonated with me was, and of course I'm doing a lot of reflecting these days.
Sure.
It's really just relationships. It's about our relationships with our former students. Like, how lucky am I that I'm still connected to you, that I have, I teach with two of my students that I taught,
Yep.
And I have so many people that I'm still, who are still in my life after all those years. And the other night I hosted a visiting author, and I was at a bookstore in Haddonfield, and this girl just kept looking at me. And she says, you were my sixth grade teacher. And I looked at her and I said, Kim. And she said, you remember my
Couldn't
name?
believe your name. Yep. Love
And I said, I knew your face,
Yep.
but it was the fact that you can just, be in this random place. And here she was with her two boys, and she's, getting them books to see this author. And she's like, and this was my teacher. And like, she got me to read. So I just feel like all of those connections are just so, there's something that in education, out of any field, I think
Correct.
we're able to make those connections, and if we want to, and they make all the difference, because just through all those stories in the book, that's what it really was. You were connecting kids in your classes. You were connecting kids to you. You were letting people see that they weren't alone, like with the different things in their lives that they were dealing with. And that's something really powerful that educators can do.
Yep.
I also wanted to say that I have an idea for your book. It seems like it could be a really good Netflix series.
So wait, it's funny you said that, because the two pieces of feedback I got from a lot of people are I need to turn into an audiobook. Listen, I didn't know about my voice until 2 years ago. I didn't know I had a voice, but I guess it's deep and whatever. So Dana was telling me, she's like, I think your kids would love to hear your voice tell these stories. And I think
bring the kids in to do their voices when you're talking about them and their questions.
That's right.
Like Haley.
Yep. Yep. And then the other thing, Beth, is that I have a friend I coach baseball with who's a film producer, and he has, I think, documentary. Just
Mhm.
so I know we're kind of rambling here, but I talked to him about it, like in my head, I'm just envisioning like these 40-year-old people walking in. You know how documentaries start, walk in, the chairs there, they sit down, and they're like, "My name's Lisa McGilloway. I sat in the hot seat in 1999." And then I just think it would be, I don't know how to do, my uncle's a filmmaker, so he and I are talking about it too, but I do think there's room for like a feel good, this is what education really is, despite what we're hearing from DC and, whatever. I'm with you. If I can figure out how to get it off the ground or get it funded, I'm in. That's a great idea.
I can see an actual dramatic depiction of it, though, that could go on for a long time.
Well, I would have to have Gosling.
Each episode
Gosling
could
available?
be a
Gosling would have to
student.
be me.
What?
I said
What?
Brian Gosling, if he's available, that's all. He's the only person I'll work with on this project.
We'll get him.
You'll get
Lisa
him.
and I will get him. We'll talk him into it.
Yeah, we
Hey,
got
before we hang up, have you guys seen all these comments?
No.
You can't see them at the bottom?
I can
Yeah,
see it. Some of them I haven't been paying attention to very much.
It's hard to keep up, but it's just like, it's comment after comment after comment about what you've meant to people. So, I wish there was a way to memorialize it other than just to say, there's a lot of people on here who love you. I love you both so much. This has been what I thought it was going to be. I was looking forward to this all day. I really, really was. So I'll take you up. I'll take you up on that dinner offer when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm going to be traveling a little bit, so when I get back
Okay.
in July,
Okay.
All
right, we're in.
You guys, we'll get back on that three-way text.
All right, everybody. I knew you couldn't go.
Did you say three-way, Beth?
I knew you couldn't go the whole way. It's a PG show. I'm sorry. This will be edited out for people at home. This is so embarrassing. All right,
You're not embarrassed. You're cool.
No more former teachers in the hot seat. All right, love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
guys.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
All right, hot seaters, thanks for tuning in. Before you go, here's how to stay connected. Follow me on Instagram at Brian_Kulak. Check out more resources on my blog over at briankulak.net. Pick up a copy of The Hot Seat or my other book, Level Up Leadership, both available now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And please, if you found value in today's conversation, leave us a rating and a review. It truly helps others discover these stories. Share this episode with someone in your life, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another conversation in The Hot Seat.